Hi everyone and welcome back to We Talk a Lot. I'm Abby.
And I'm Emmy.
And we have a great show for you all today. We are going to be talking about Crayons for Kids, first of all, which is Emmy's charity that she started when she was a kid with her brother. I'm really interested in this because I learned about this when we became friends, but I haven't really dug too deep into it. And I recently was on YouTube and Emmy and I were watching old videos of her, and it came across a bunch of news clips of her talking to not famous, but popular news stations about her charity, which it blew my mind to see Emmy 12, 13 talking on news. I've never been on the news, but you've been on it 100 times.
Yeah, it was really funny to watch you freak out on YouTube, and I was just like, wait, what?
I was blown away.
I just didn't get it.
Because I would watch shows like that. I would watch the news or Hometown Heroes growing up, and I would always be I could never be on that because I couldn't come up with ideas or I couldn't put things together that were as up to snuff. To see you literally be a kid on all these shows, I'm she lived my dream.
That's hilarious. Because I didn't even know what Hometown Heroes was.
Oh my God, I so did.
That's so funny.
Stuff like that. I wanted to be on all their shows. I wanted so badly to get on the news. And
you could be on the news with me.
For what?
You could help me with Crayons for Kids.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk about that first.
Okay.
But we have two other stories. We're going to be discussing the new uniforms for the Hooters franchise, which has kind of sparked some outrage in their employees through TikTok. And then, I don't know, I assume you know Olivia Jade, who is Lori Loughlin's daughter.
Yes. Oh, I know.
The whole scandal.
I know the whole scandal. Don't
so
you worry.
She is actually on the newest season of Dancing with the Stars, which sparked some controversy.
I could see that.
It's been I want to say 2 years since that whole thing went down. So definitely
a great show planned for today.
Yeah, definitely.
3 great stories.
So let's get started with Crayons for Kids. I did do a little bit of research, just picking from websites and what funny. I could find.
Okay.
But this is on your website, The Humble Beginnings. I want you to tell me if this is true and kind of
okay, well
dig deeper into it.
We wrote this, so it's true.
Okay, well.
But okay.
How much PR is it and how much did it really start? I want to hear the real truth.
Okay,
I don't want to hear the PR smiley face Emily.
Sure.
You know, when I was looking at videos, I was like, oh, that was all when she was young. But I found one when you were 21 or 22. And I was like, that was recent. You did, you've been doing news shows very recently.
We do something, I'll tell you in a, yes, okay. We're very up to date. We should be more. I wish we were.
Yeah, the website is not very up to date.
Oh, that's a whole nother story. We're not going to put that on air.
Oh, why?
Family drama.
There's family drama?
Yeah. Family drama.
With how the website is?
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Now I want to know.
Okay, well, we'll get to that. Remind me to tell you at the end of the segment. And I'll put a little pop in.
Okay. So the humble beginnings that all began with Emily and Matt's box on a porch left out to collect crayons and books for children in the hospital their dad worked at. Neighbors left all sorts of things to contribute to the mission. Is that true?
Yeah. So are you going to stop every couple seconds?
Well, that's the humble beginnings.
Okay, yeah.
That's
good.
all it says.
Yeah. I just didn't know how much you had to read because I see that you have a lot. And so I didn't know. Yes. Okay. So that's very true. I don't know if
says, so you would visit your dad in Los Angeles County Women and Children's Hospital?
Yes. So my dad he was going through residency. And we never saw him. Never.
Really? You worked long hours?
Never saw him.
Yeah.
And so if it was a quiet weekend and he thought it would be okay, he would look at his list of patients that he needed to check in on the weekends. He would bring us with him. And we thought that was the bee's knees. We were no way, we're going to the hospital. Our dad works here. This is so cool.
Yeah.
So
how old were you? 6?
No, I was 6. Yeah, I was 6. Matt was 5.
Okay.
5 and 6. So we would go with him and we're super young, clearly.
Yeah.
And like when you're that age, you're so innocent, like you're not really thinking. You're just kind of like, again, like I said, my dad's so cool. Like he works here, like we're at the hospital. We're going to work with my dad, you know?
Yeah, I remember those days.
But like Matt and I were 13 months apart. We are 13 months apart. So like Matt is my best friend. He's one of my best friends. Like we always have each other to lean on. And we've been through things that not many people can say like they've been through with their sibling unless you're a twin or, you know, you're super close, like 13. I've heard of other people who have siblings that are 13 months apart.
I always wanted that close relationship. Like I never had that growing up and I always wish I had
It was literally like having a twin. Like everywhere I went, Matt was with me. Everything I did, Matt did with me.
Strong bond.
Yeah, totally. So we would be sitting there together and I don't have memories of like the actual conversation since it was so long ago. But what my dad tells us is that we were super interested in like what was going on at the hospital and why all these kids were in these beds looking miserable. Like Matt and I were like distraught. We were like, Dad, what's going on? Like, how sick are they? Like, are they going to die? Asking all these questions. And my dad said, you know, like these kids are here for a long, long time. And so completely on our own, I know this is true. Matt and I decided to start collecting toys, specifically crayons and coloring books to give to them. So we actually have a picture of the original box. We don't have the original box anymore. It got ruined in a flood. It was really, really sad. We do have one of the original posters though. And we literally took a cardboard box and decorated it with stickers. And my mom helped us write Crayons for Kids.
How did you come up with the name?
I think my mom and dad helped us come up with that name.
But it wasn't just crayons, it was toys.
At first, it was crayons and coloring books. It was only crayons and coloring books at first.
Why did you come up with crayons coloring book? Like, why that over toys?
I think we were just thinking of like something that was just super easy, super simple, doesn't cost a lot of money. Like you could get that at the dollar store.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And to us, I was really artsy as a kid, so I think, I can't say for sure, but I would assume I had something to do with that. And Matt was probably like, oh yeah. Honestly, you'd have to ask my dad.
Okay.
Because he probably remembers like the scene way more.
Right.
But I do remember decorating the box. I do remember, you know, Matt and I, when you're 5, it's like going to the arcade and getting all those Chuck E. Cheese tickets. Like all we wanted was that box to be filled. Like that's all we cared about. One tiny little moving box. Like it was nothing.
Yeah.
And so we told our grandparents, we told our cousins, we told our aunts, we told our uncles, we told all of our friends at school, we told the churches, we told my brownie troop, like everyone. And lo and behold, little did we know, it blew up. Like blew up. The postman knew about it. The churches that we didn't even go to and the temples knew about it. My dad started getting us on the air and the news. Like we stopped asking for Christmas gifts and all we wanted, like, obviously, my grandparents did get us something, but like when we were that little, all we cared about was filling up that box. We were like, oh no, we don't want anything. We want you to like put stuff in our box. So crazy
because I don't think I was ever that benevolent as a kid. Like I was all, I don't know. Like I feel like kids aren't thinking about.
No, they're not. Definitely. I don't think you're a bad person. That's what kids do. Kids are like curious and exploring and they want, and they want the cool new toys. Like, are you kidding? All my second graders right now are all about the Poppets. Like,
so you really were just like, I just want to fill
Oh,
up.
I definitely remember that. That's true.
Okay.
And then my dad did a lot of the back work because we were kids.
Right.
And we would get on the news. We would, my mom loves party planning. We would have fundraisers. I remember we did a masquerade ball one year, huge fundraiser. We had it in the Marriott Hotel. We did carnivals. We set up booths at different places. You name it, we were there. We did it, and we just kept growing and growing and growing. And the news, my dad got us on the news a bunch too.
Yeah, no, I saw.
Yeah, so it wasn't until we moved, to Michigan.
So it was all in Los Angeles.
That was all in Los Angeles.
And that's where your family is originally
yes,
from.
Yes, everyone lives there.
Your grandparents.
Yes.
Yeah.
We moved to Boston where my dad did more of his residency and boarding. He's triple boarded. And so just finishing, you know, all the different certifications that he wanted to get. And it came with us. And then we started delivering to that hospital too, on top of the other one.
So how were you still managing the Los Angeles?
So what had happened was we would tell people we will never turn down a request. So we weren't physically going in every week. Like I don't know if we were going in every week when I was little, but we were going in whenever we could. Yeah. And my dad was taking bags in. Like they just kept flowing. It just kept coming. We had to rent a truck. We had to rent we didn't have a storage unit. We had to rent a truck. Wow. That's how big it got.
Yeah.
And then we moved to Boston. We moved to Philadelphia. It followed us. We started delivering at those two individual hospitals. Meanwhile, people would hear about us and we would start sending things to different places. Didn't have to be in LA. Didn't have to be in Boston or Philadelphia, wherever they heard from us. We got our website going. We are a nonprofit organization, 501c. We had our uncle who was in the tax business. He was filing our taxes for us, taking care of us. And none of the money was used on, like, when you have a nonprofit, you might use money to rent the trucks. Nope, that was donated. You might use some money that was donated to us to buy boxes, to carry all this stuff in. Nope, that was donated. My dad
the truck was donated.
Yes, my dad was extremely strategic so that we could authentically put on our website that 100% of the proceeds went to the kids in the hospital.
Wow.
We didn't spend money on anything except for...
This is just so crazy. Would you say it was a pivotal point of your childhood growing up? It was a big part of it?
I don't think I realized it was. My parents had always taught us from a very young age to give back to others.
It's so interesting because, I feel like in those days, it probably was a super big thing, but it almost seems like in the past few years, it's died down.
So that is totally true. When we moved to Michigan, we started our annual Christmas toy drive. Now, this is a specific holiday.
When did you move to Michigan?
I want to say I was in 4th grade.
Okay, so a long time ago.
Yes, over 12 years ago.
Okay.
And we started a toy drive, which that is another completely awesome story. We could go into so much detail. But it just so happened that our paths crossed and we are now extremely good family friends with someone who worked on the radio station that was local in Kalamazoo. Mm-hmm. And we started a toy drive. And I think this year it's actually I'm going to biff it. I think this year it might be our 16th or 17th year of this toy drive.
Okay, wow.
Because I remember the big 15 happening.
Be careful with your mic.
Yeah, sorry. I remember the big 15 happening. And this was specific to Christmas. Now, this blew up. I mean...
It's separate entity from Crayons for Kids.
It's not separate entity. It's just, let's get in the holiday spirit Christmas drive. We were on the radio station for 12 hours, once a year. My dad would have nurses come in and tell their stories. My dad would have doctors come in and tell their stories. My dad would have patients come in and tell their stories on the radio. It was a whole day thing. And Matt and I would be there year after year collecting toys. Everyone would come. You name it, they were there. Girl Scout troops, companies who did this as their charitable event. Yeah. People from our schools, our families, our friends, churches that people we didn't even know were there. And this started booming. In fact, we had to get a rental space. We had to get a place to put all this stuff, which, by the way, was donated to us.
This is blowing my mind.
And now there's probably a huge, I want to say a space as big as this wall to your kitchen filled with things.
So 15, 20 feet.
Yeah. Wow. Filled top to the rim. Now you are correct. This is what I was going to get into. Right now, Matt and I have been off to college. We would come home every year to do our toy drive during Christmas time, which, by the way, forgot to mention, that turned into us delivering on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day every year. Since I was a child, I remember delivering on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Presents. And this toy drive made it so that we could deliver gift baskets bigger than this couch cushion. I'm talking huge. I'm talking
Was it just for people in the hospital at that
just
point?
for people in the hospital.
Okay.
Yep. And we're talking could be up to $500 in one bag.
Wow.
One huge, giant Santa's sack.
I have to ask you, did you ever take a gift for
I
yourself?
never took a gift.
Never once.
Ever.
Never.
My mom.
Matt never?
Matt never. My mom, because that was hard for us. That was hard for
Yeah,
us.
I probably would.
My mom
said.
said if there was something that we absolutely couldn't live without and it was something we'd never seen before and wanted, she would buy it for us later.
Yeah, how do you have that restraint as a child?
I
would not have.
It wasn't about that for Matt and I.
It just blows my mind how you were so innocent and
Matt and I
kind
were
as a
so
kid.
innocent. So innocent.
Wow.
Like crazy. So to make this story short,
Not
we
that
went, not that
It's gonna be
short,
the longest
but
story, but-
literally, but for a good reason.
Yeah.
To make that story short, and there's so much that we could talk about with this. Like we literally skimmed the surface. We didn't even.
I have so
I don't
many
even think I did a good job explaining it, to be honest. Like my dad, who's probably listening to this, is probably banging his head against the table.
No, but the thing is, like, the more you talk about your dad, the more I'm like, I need him
Oh,
to come
you
as
need-
a podcast.
oh,
guest.
yeah, for
Not
sure.
to talk about crayons for kids.
No, for
To talk
anything.
about you and
Oh,
your
that's
childhood.
funny. That's funny. That would be funny. That would be funny.
Because I want him just podcast for like 45 minutes purely dedicated
That's
to
hilarious.
talking about your childhood.
That's hilarious.
I think he's so
Well, he
funny.
has everything written down, so he would be able to tell you.
I think he's just hilarious. The way his mind works.
I know, he's an alien.
And it's so incredible. So like,
We don't understand my dad sometimes. He's like,
but it's weird because it
On
did
another
not
level.
rub off on you.
oh,
or
absolutely
Matt.
not. Absolutely not.
It's so funny.
So funny. So, as I was saying, Matt and I went to college. We still came home every year. We still help out. But things slowed down. I mean, we can't be there 24/7. My dad will get requests and he'll run to storage and do things. I know a couple people in the area where if I need them to do an errand for me or deliver something, I can tell them, hey, can you run to storage? I need this delivered to the hospital, and they'll do it for me. But really, it's really been dependent on my dad lately. Now it's not just crayons and coloring books. It's you name it, it's there. Video games, TVs, PlayStations,
How do you
Wii's,
certify
iPads.
that these people are like sick and in hospital?
Well, the request, it's people that we know. Like, oh, my friend blank is in the hospital.
Okay. So there's not like a vetting process or something like
No.
that somebody could go online and submit.
No.
Would you ever make it like that? Would you like one?
Well, let me tell you what my dream is for Cancer Kids.
Okay.
I know that potentially one day I want to have kids and I want them to be close to my mom and dad. Just so that they can have grandparents. So once I am actually truly settled, I would love to open a mock Ronald McDonald house. And I would love to have that be where our storage is. I would love to have a center for siblings of kids who are in the hospital where volunteers are there to like babysit the siblings. I would love to have like a nice place for parents to come to if they need to shower or if they just need to read a book and sit, something comfortable. And I would like a place like a store. You know somebody who's in the hospital? Okay, great. What's their room number? I will call and confirm that information. Head right down this way with this volunteer who's here and pick whatever you'd like off the shelf and make them a personal package.
Well, like the thing is like being CEO of a charity is like pretty much a job.
Yeah, it is.
So would you ever step into that and leave your job like maybe in 10 years and step
Well,
into
I don't
that
want to get
full-time?
paid from this. I don't want to get paid from this. So like in my head, theoretically, and I don't know if this would work out, I would get this Ronald McDonald, I would call it my Crayons for Kids house. I don't know why, I just like the name Kids. I would get that everywhere. I would get that to the high schools. I would get that to the churches. I would get that to foundations, the colleges, anywhere.
Okay.
It would be an online link in my head where there's a calendar and there's time slots. And you sign up for a time slot to come and volunteer.
But that's a lot of work.
Well, then maybe we're not open 24/7. Maybe we're open only 3 hours a day.
Yeah, but it's still like it's
Well, that's the dream, honey.
You need to, yeah.
That's the dream, sis.
You gotta
But
dedicate to
it would be volunteer based. And there are enough people in Kalamazoo who I know could be the manager. Like, I could be a manager one day. I know plenty of people who would be there as the manager to watch over the volunteers who come from all of these different places.
That's crazy.
So that's the dream. Right now, we're not ready to purchase property, but we do have money to do so if need be. My dad just doesn't want to take on the project yet, which I don't blame him because I'm not there.
I'm curious what the website drama is, but you need to fix the website thing. You need to make it easier to send a request.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And you need to have social media.
Yeah, totally.
Because then more people will know how to donate.
Oh,
and
I
you could
completely
get more
agree with you.
donations.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
It's just...
You could do like live donation.
Oh, we do it all the time.
Live streaming.
Oh, yeah, we do it all the time. We do it during our fundraisers. So don't hate me, but I have to use the restroom.
Okay, that's okay.
Okay, cool.
We can take a quick pause.
Okay, quick pause.
So getting back into it, we're going to talk about the Hooters uniform scandal. So... You know Hooters, right?
Yeah, duh.
It's famous for big boobs.
Big butt, tight pants.
Yeah.
Titties out.
Exactly.
Hot face.
It's a restaurant where the women who serve you, it's all women, no male servers. They wear really tight, skimpy outfits that look like basically like this tight crop top and these
booty shorts.
Booty shorts and tights. They always wear tights.
Yeah.
And Hooters has been famous for I think 2 decades. When was it started? It was founded in 4 decades. It was founded in 1983 in Clearwater, Florida. And the outrage was last week they came out with a new uniform that was mandatory for their franchise, where the shorts, I want to show you. I'm going to include a picture right on the screen right now.
I'm literally looking it up right now.
No, it's okay. I have it on my...
Okay.
I have it here. These are what they gave as shorts.
I'm sorry, what? It looks like a thong.
Yeah, let me...
what were they thinking? Wow.
So, cut like a thong.
Literally.
Pretty much underwear.
Literally.
And so, a lot of the employees went to TikTok and were making videos, posting, talking about... Some of them were like, some of them didn't comment on it, just basically showed the difference that, here's my new uniform. Some of them were like, I don't want to go into work wearing a thong.
Yeah.
But basically it was just like, why? Why?
Honestly, when you told me that there was a scandal, I thought you were going to say that they changed the uniform and it was like...
Less skimpy.
Yes.
No. But it's so bizarre too, like... I maybe like, I don't know who thought of this, but why?
I don't know, man.
They're already so skimpy and they've been in a lot of lawsuits for weight discrimination, gender discrimination, basically like lawsuits for being fired over the brand's aesthetic. Like, it just blows my mind that they would think that the next best thing is to now
change their uniform.
Change it to be worse. So, yeah, so that was the big thing going around TikTok. They, this week, came out with a statement saying that now they are clarifying that they're giving employees the option to either choose the new uniform or the old one. So now...
You can wear whatever, you can wear which one you want.
Yeah, exactly. Which I don't think anybody's ever going to see the new one.
Yeah, no way. How are they still open?
There are a lot of women that enjoy working there. I was watching on TikTok. They like their jobs. I'd imagine, I don't know how it is with sexist like people, like if, you know, they're touched, if they get a lot of...
Oh, I'm sure there's scenarios if you Googled it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of those, but I wonder like how well it's policed within franchises. So that's my only concern is like, that's like the bad part of the job, but I want to know why these women enjoy working there.
I agree.
Like,
I want to know why too. What is so great about it?
What are the perks that they enjoy so
I agree.
much? I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying anything against it. I'm just saying it blows my mind that this is still a staple in 2021.
That's what I'm saying. I'm still surprised that they're open. I mean, I know some girls are all about like self-love and body image and look how hot I am and like Good for you.
I wonder what they pay. I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, look that up. Good for you. Like, I'm not shaming you in any way. I'm just saying that I am surprised that in 2021, we still have restaurants where they're making girls dress this way while they serve men food while they watch sports. How ridiculous did that just sound?
So it says the Hooters girls make anywhere from $11 to $20 an hour. Just depends.
And then they obviously get tipped.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, some girls can make, well, that's with tips. Like, some girls can make, like, $5 an hour base pay and then be tipped or make bonuses or stuff. So, I don't know. Maybe it's the tips. Maybe that's the benefit of the job.
Yeah, maybe, I guess. I've never worked in the food industry.
Waitressing, food industry.
Have you ever?
I worked as a grocery cashier, but not food industry.
Yeah.
I never worked at a restaurant.
I've never worked at a restaurant or a bar ever. So, like,
it's just interesting.
Legit have no idea.
I would have thought by now that they would allow their waitresses to wear yoga pants or something. Like,
right.
It's crazy.
Or, like, bodysuits.
Yeah.
I wonder if they wear bodysuits.
No, it's a pretty strict uniform policy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow. Okay.
So, final story.
This is a good
Jade.
one. This is a good one.
So, I know Olivia Jade. I just messed up.
I know Olivia Jade for many reasons. One,
she's a beauty vlogger.
She's a beauty vlogger.
She was, I wouldn't say famous. She had a few
she had a
hundred
following.
thousand, maybe 1 million followers.
Yeah, I followed her. I watched her.
Yeah, I
liked her vlogs.
I
liked her day in the life.
Friends, like, but I never had subscribed to her.
Oh, okay.
But I knew
subscribed.
I'd watched, like, her videos with Aunt Becky, which is,
yeah,
her mother, famous actress from Full House.
Yeah, Lori
Aunt
Loughlin.
Becky. Yeah, Lori Loughlin.
Loughlin, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like it's been pretty silent since 2019.
I agree.
Her mom and her dad were jailed in 2020. Her mom took a plea deal and got 2 months, and her dad got 5 months. And they both served it or out. And they had to pay together $400,000 fine. So we haven't really heard anything. Obviously, our parents were in jail.
It was like a huge blow up when it happened. That's all we heard about. That's all that was everywhere on, like, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, like, even on TV, like E! News. I would follow E! News a lot. On Snapchat, they have, like, a little E! News video thing. It was everywhere, and it felt like it was just getting worse and worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we heard nothing.
Dead silent. So I totally forgot about it. I know she came back to YouTube.
I did see that she came back to YouTube. A
little bit. She was on social media. Like, she came back, I think, in 2020 on social media. And she was, like, blown out of the water, like, with hate comments.
Yeah, of course.
And so it died down a little bit. But now she's, like, pretty much fully back.
Should we, like, say what happened in case someone...
I mean, briefly, like, there was this college admissions scandal where parents, rich parents were paying a lot of money to get their kids into good colleges.
Yeah.
So, for example, like the Loughlin and I don't know how to pronounce the name, 𝐸𝐭, which is the dad, paid $500,000 in bribes for both their daughters to attend the University of Southern California. And the way they did this was they would pay the sports guy or whatever, I don't know his official title, to say that they were good at whatever sport they chose. For them, it was rowing. So they would, like, take fake pictures and make up a fake resume. And then the guy would basically push it to admission saying, these are good, we need these people, automatic acceptance. So that's how it worked. And the guy was also legally in trouble. I think he went to jail.
Yeah. He was accomplice.
Accomplished.
He was an accomplice.
Yeah, he was making so much money. Imagine just one of them. And there was like 50 parents. Imagine one of them, $500,000. So that was the big scandal. So she technically illegally got into her college, which was also funny because a lot of the videos that she made at the time were that she hated going to college. She like only went to college for parties. So the fact people, you know, were outraged that she took someone's spot that might have really needed it.
Sure.
Was a big deal. So she left.
I can't believe she like went through... I can't believe she went to college knowing that, like, she's a liar.
Well, it's a thing up in the air that, like, did she know? That was, like, I remember when that came out, there were videos literally, like, analyzing every detail and, like, every sentence and everything, saying, like, did she have knowledge? And everything she has claimed up to this point has said she did not have knowledge.
I'm sure they don't want her in the middle of it.
Of course. So she's been very silent. Obviously, also there's a legal aspect. Her lawyers would probably say, like, be silent. But then, like 4 or 5 weeks ago, early September, she was announced as one of the stars for Dancing with the Stars. And I love Dancing with the Stars.
I didn't know that you loved Dancing.
Oh my God, I love it.
Oh my gosh, we should have a Dancing with the Stars watch party. I love Dancing with the Stars.
So, yeah, that's one of my shows that I watch religiously.
We just learned something new about each other on our podcast.
Aw.
Okay, wow, I'm so excited. Okay,
so
we'll have to
I
do
was
that.
pretty shocked because I hadn't heard of her in a while.
Well, you know, her publicist is probably trying to get her back out there.
Exactly.
Like, good lens.
It's like the way that they frame it is the Olivia Jade apology tour. Every segment that she has, like every like before the dance, they do like a little thing and like in a little interview.
Yeah.
It's all about like getting through it, dealing with haters, dealing with like the trauma and having like her parents in jail. Like it's all about like, oh, she's went through a lot. She's a victim. You know, she's coming out of this like a lion, like practically like Katy Perry, Hear Me Roar. Like,
yeah,
literally like, and then every time the judges, well, you know, not in like the past 2 episodes, but the first 3 episodes, every time she was judged, they would be like, you're so brave. You know, we're putting this behind you. We're not like taking into consideration your past. Like it's always about like,
that's like sometimes
moving on.
For me, I feel like that's 10 times worse.
Yeah. It's
I
all
would not
about
want
it.
to be in her position. Like, can we just not say anything about it? Maybe once on the first episode and get it out of the way and break the ice and then not talk about it.
It's so crazy. And I can't imagine that like,
awkward.
Even just being like, she had 1 million subscribers. She was Aunt Becky's daughter. Even without the scandal, she would have never gotten on Dancing with the Stars. Like, I don't think she had the clout, the fame, anything to get on that show.
I think you're wrong. I think if she wanted to, she totally could have.
No.
With her publicist. I totally disagree. Aunt Becky from Full House's daughter wants to be on Dancing with the Stars. It could have happened.
I
just
little
disagree
skeptical with that because I don't think enough people knew her. Like people like that, like they don't get enough votes.
I mean, I guess. Oh, that's even worse. You think she's getting all the pity votes?
I wonder. She was actually in the bottom 2 though this week that I just watched this Monday. She was in the bottom 2, and people are saying there's actually another scandal that came out saying that she was hooking up with her dance partner who is much older than her. She's 21, which also blew my mind because I didn't realize like I'm 20 and I was like, holy crap, she's like the same age as me practically. She's 21. Huh. I wasn't even thinking about that because I seemed so disconnected from her, but thinking about her as my age is bizarre. But yeah,
that's the worst. I watch a lot of family shows where they're younger than me. I'm 26.
And they have kids.
They have 4, 5, 6, 7 kids, and they make millions of dollars on YouTube. And I'm just over here like, yo, second grade is awesome.
Not even engaged, living in an apartment.
Like, but more like, I have $0 all the time. So that's what mind blows me when these 22, my favorite people, he's 23 and I think she's 22 or 23.
It blows my mind how close in age like these people are to me. I couldn't even imagine that.
I know. I'm waiting for one of our videos to blow up.
Maybe one day.
We got a TikTok tonight.
So I'm
cringing listening to these like interviews that you're telling me about. Like, just don't talk about
Oh
it.
yeah, so that's a scandal. So the scandal, you know, that she hooked up with her dance partner.
Oh, whatever. They're gonna make up all these things.
Yeah, exactly. So she was like, first of all, that's pretty ridiculous. I think he's married to another one of the Dancing with the Stars dancers. So I was like, this is pretty ridiculous.
She said that?
Yeah, she said she denied it, but then people were saying the reason she was in the bottom 2 this past week was because of those rumors.
Whatever.
So I don't know. She's not that
So
bad of a
much
dancer.
drama.
I would say she's middle of the road. She's actually better than a lot of the other like there's, you know, the older they get, the worse they are.
Yeah.
I have to say. And like all of the men are always pretty bad. Like
I know.
the NBA stars, the
guys.
footballers,
I
like
know.
they all
Well,
cannot
can we talk
dance.
about JoJo?
Oh,
She's
JoJo,
so
she was
awesome.
killing it.
JoJo is so awesome. I love her so much. I love JoJo.
There was a little
Siwa.
period where I was like, this is cringy and everything. But then the more that I got to know her,
she's growing
and
up.
she's grown up.
Yeah, she's growing up.
She is very much a sense for like being yourself, being wholly you. Like she's not
Being
conforming.
kind.
Yeah, she's not conforming to what you would think of as like a celebrity type.
Totally.
She's very down to earth.
Her mom is her. Well, I don't know for this.
Did you
for a
watch Dance
fact.
Mom growing up? Yeah.
Her mom is very involved in like her management and what she does, and yeah, I mean, I don't know if she's officially her manager. Like
Right.
maybe she's gotten so
Probably
big that but I do know that like JoJo hasn't conformed or done something that she hasn't wanted to do. Like her mom was very, very careful about setting JoJo up for success in the way that like she has the power and enough money and success that if they don't want to go with that brand deal or that company or that commercial, she doesn't have to.
No,
JoJo's her own thing. She does her own commercials.
She's no longer like a part of like a channel. She's not like a Nickelodeon star or like a Dance Mom star. Like you think of her solely as a brand. Her name is a brand.
I agree, totally.
And
her mom was very smart.
You can't.
She pulled her from Abby and she made her own.
You can't go through a Walmart or a Target without seeing a JoJo.
Oh gosh,
Siwa
no.
thing. You can't.
I love JoJo bows. I think I have a couple.
I don't own anything of hers, but
I love JoJo.
Teach their own. So, yeah, I love Dancing with the Stars. Let's watch it soon.
Let's
together.
do it.
Anyway, okay, so that closes off our episode.
Kind of a different episode.
Yeah, less political, less serious.
Yeah, one long story, 2 short stories.
Yeah, I just had a few things I wanted to discuss.
But you know, the most important part is we're here. We're spending time with each other. Girl talk. And we had another great episode.
Yeah, our 5th episode in the books.
Ooh, ooh.
I can't wait. What are we going to do for 10?
Ooh, ooh. Something fun.
Yeah. Have Mike on the podcast. We talk about him all the time. I wonder if like random people watch it and they're like, who's hell is Mike?
Mike's my dad.
No, I love Mike.
Daddy Lemon.
I've never met him in person,
Warbucks.
and I kind of fangirl over him. Like I kind of have him in this like high position because I've only heard about him through channels and talked to him like over the phone. So like I don't know what I'm gonna do when I see him in person. I might scream.
Will you?
Is he a hugger? Because I'm gonna like jump on him.
Oh, he's a hugger.
I can't.
We all are in the Lean One house. We're huggers.
Yeah, I can't wait till I meet him for the first time. I'm gonna be so starstruck.
Maybe we should have him fly out for one of the podcasts.
Oh my god! The thing is, like, if Mike tells me to do anything, I'll freaking do it.
Oh, so if he tells you to fly out to Field Bay,
no,
then you would come to Field Bay and we could film the podcast on Field Bay.
No.
Oh.
But anyway, I was.
Hint, I'm trying to get Abby to come to Michigan with me.
She's going home. Also, that's the next place she's going. She's going home tomorrow. She's leaving.
I am going home tomorrow.
Okay, so we will see you next week, episode 6. Thank you guys all for joining us. We talk a lot. I'm Abby.
And I'm Emmy.
Bye.
See you next time.